Shawn,
Mike?
what is this? A crossover episode? Yowza, yowza, bobowza.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
I can't believe you remembered
Dude.
all your bits.
I really thought Yowza Bowza Bowza was my line, and I panicked because I couldn't remember it.
No, that can't be your line because then everybody will compare you to that character.
Yeah.
And there's already enough connective tissue there.
There is?
Yeah. Anyway, hey, welcome everybody to what is this, a crossover episode? The Bojack
Wait, who
Horseman
said that
podcast,
again?
starring the Squid Boys. I don't know what you're talking about. We're covering episode 10 of season 2. Yes, and
Who said Yowza Bowza again?
Ethan,
Who? Oh, right, because the
little ginger boy.
That's
yeah,
the connective. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
You just ruined the intro with your Ethanness, but it's fine.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I am really a Zoe.
You're an Ethan for sure. Like I said, we're covering Yes and the little blurb for that is Diane crashes at Bojack's place after quitting her job following Sebastian St. Clair, which puts a strain on Bojack and Wanda's relationship. Todd joins an improv comedy troupe, which turns out to be a cult.
Yeah, not a commentary on anything other than improv comedy.
Yeah, there's no Scientology there.
There's no. Why would you even say that? Why would you
because
even
they mentioned Scientology.
Yeah, but they were very clear.
But they're very clear that it's not Scientology.
That it is not Scientology. Scientology is not a cult.
Scientology's not a cult. And on July 17th, 2015, this episode was
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And
We've
which was
been
7
told-
years, 9 months, and 1 day ago.
I gotta say, we have been told that people like this bit.
We have.
But
here's the thing. At this point, no one's heard the season 2 version, so I'm not sure they're gonna like it as much.
I don't know that it's any worse than season 1.
It's a bit worse.
Season 1 had a crazy
suicide
shit
bomber in Iraq kills 120. ISIS claims responsibility.
But there was a bad one in season 1 too, like that.
Yeah. I'm not here to measure which is worse. Scientists solved the sleeping sickness in 2 villages in northern Kazakhstan. Uranium mining had caused an increase in carbon monoxide. Mystery solved.
That's a good thing. They saved people.
Yeah, but I haven't even read the worst one yet. Marvel's Ant-Man, starring Paul Rudd as the titular character, is released.
Best of the trilogy.
Yeah, I might agree with that.
Yeah.
I might.
Yeah,
We'll
you'd
see.
be pretty crazy not to.
I don't know. Something about MODOK.
I
heard
barely,
you gulp and almost choke.
I barely swallowed before you said that. If seconds earlier, it would have been a problem.
Well, then the comedic timing would have been off. It wouldn't have been as funny.
Yeah.
So you lucked out.
No, I would have actually choked seconds earlier, so it might have been better.
Famous deaths.
Yes.
Jules Bianchi, French auto racer, dies from injuries during an accident at the 2014 Japanese F1 GP at age 25.
That's sad.
Owen Chadwick, English historian, priest, and university chancellor, dies at 99.
That's less sad. Again, come on, 100. Like, you're right there.
I think people are really going to take offense to this, yes.
This bit that I've been doing for the past 10 episodes?
They might be.
Yeah?
They might be.
I don't think so.
And then, finally, the number 1 song in the U.S. was See You Again, Wiz Khalifa, featuring Charlie Puth.
Good episode. Good song.
Good episode. Number 1 song in the UK was Black Magic by Little Mix.
Which is isn't that what was Black Magic? Was it a boy band? Didn't we find this out?
It's a girl band.
Oh, it's a girl band. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't like the song, I don't think.
No, well, and like girl bands were so a mid-2000s thing. This is 2015. Like,
yeah, it's pretty late.
UK. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So anyway, yes, and this episode has an 8.4 rating out of 10 on IMDb.
I rate it higher.
I have a review for us to read.
Oh, okay.
From our good friend Edvis1997.
Is he our good friend?
Yeah, I think the last review was from Edvis as well.
Oh, okay, all right.
and they give it this episode 9 out of 10 stars. Basically, Bojack always disappoints people he cares about, which is really sad, but makes him humanly at the same time.
Yeah. Very
Thank you,
relatable.
Edvis. Yes. Thank you, Edvis. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So-
do you think we could get Edvis on the podcast?
Oh, easily.
Okay. I'll leave that to you.
Maybe I'm Edvis.
Huh?
What? Anyway, Shawn, what did you think of this episode?
I loved this episode. I'd give it a 9 out of 10 too. I thought it was the perfect balance of funny, haha, and also, wow, this is sad and dark, and it hits on a great ending. One of my favorite endings to. It might be my favorite ending to an episode this season so far.
Yeah, it's really good.
Where it loses loses a little bit from me. I think you'll be surprised, and I'll tell you about it when we get to it.
Okay. I challenged you to pick out a voice of someone that you hold very dearly.
Oh yeah.
Were you able to do that?
On line 2. He said maybe four words, and I went, "Oh, that's Ryan Johnson."
Yes.
Yeah.
Shawn's idol.
Yeah.
He has a Helga Pataki style shrine in his closet.
I do.
To Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson is actually he's here right now.
Oh, could he speak into the mic, Shawn?
I can't let him do that.
You really set yourself up to do an impression there, and you just bailed.
No. It is like the Nomura joke, right? Where you had him tied up.
I'm sorry?
You know when you were doing the Answer Before podcast and you had him like tied up in the room?
What's that?
Yeah. But like, so the joke is he's not allowed on the mic because then he'll like, Yeah.
Okay, well.
Anyways, so
here's another thing though. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Before we talk more about Ryan Johnson, there is another voice actress on this episode that I think you'd be surprised that you hold this person dear to you.
Okay. Okay, wait.
And it's the female improver.
Like, can I have a second? Can I go back to the episode really quick and listen?
You're not gonna know this person by name.
Oh, can I try? Can I just get one try?
Okay.
All right. I'm opening the episode right now. I've got it up. Oh, I already had it up. It's right here. Okay. Hold on. You need to find a scene that she's in.
He's not gonna recognize her.
This is taking a long time. Okay, here she's in this scene.
This is great podcasting, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't know.
I'm gonna say that it is. I'm forgetting every female actress's name that I've.
She's not an actress.
She's not an actress. Is she a voice actress?
No.
What's her like? What's her job?
Writer and producer.
Writer and producer. I don't know.
So her name is Emily Heller.
Okay, I definitely wouldn't have got that. But
And Emily Heller is known, her number one thing is for being a producer and writer on the TV show Barry.
Let's go!
Which is a very, very big, important show to Shawn.
Oh,
I've never
Barry
seen it.
is my favorite show of all. Oh my god, she writes such good episodes too. Barry is my favorite TV show of all time. I really want to get Mike to watch it. So everybody comment below and tell him to watch it with me.
I'll make it the question on our Spotify.
Yeah. Should Mike
version.
watch Barry?
Should Mike watch Barry?
It's oh god. Season 4 just started, and man, such a good show. Okay, yeah, that's awesome.
So there you go. Ryan Johnson, Emily Heller. And then John Cho is the lead improv guy, but you know him. He's an actor.
Yeah. Oh, that was him?
Yeah.
That's cool. I like him.
Yeah, I like
Did
him
you know
too.
he's fucking 50?
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit. You're right. He
Yeah.
was born in 72.
Yeah. Whenever I
Fucking Harold from Harold and Kumar's 52.
but even he doesn't fucking look 52. Like
No.
it's like, oh
Good
my
looking guy.
god.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And he's in the Cowboy Bebop,
which
live
is
action.
we have a friend who really loves that show.
Yeah.
He thinks it's better than the original.
Who's that?
Egg.
Oh. I use the term friend very loosely there. Anyway, this episode opens up.
Sorry, we have to go back to Rian Johnson for just a second.
Sorry, your best friend, Rian
because
Johnson.
you brought him up already, so I'm gonna say it.
I was trying to avoid this part of it.
I was gonna say it. He's my least favorite part of the episode.
What?
Yeah, I don't like his voice in this.
You don't like Rian Johnson?
I love Rian Johnson's voice. I think he's so fun to listen to. Something about it just came off weird in this episode. It almost sounded like he was recording in a different studio than everybody else.
Well, he probably was.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
he probably just...
He probably was. It was just really noticeable whenever he had a line where I was like, ooh, that is... It just... I don't love his... Like, he's not an actor, right? I don't know what else he's done, even voice role wise. But yeah, I didn't like him in this.
Huh.
Yeah, I told you I was going to surprise you.
It's my favorite Rian Johnson thing.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that.
Okay, what is my actual favorite Rian Johnson thing?
Knives
I
Out.
want to say Looper.
Oh, Looper's really good.
No, you're right. It's Knives Out.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, it's Knives Out.
But not Glass Onion.
Glass Onion is really good too, though.
I do like Glass Onion, but it's not as good as Knives Out.
It's not the first one.
No, Ana de Armas is just a force in that movie.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Where they don't really have that in the second one. Sorry to whoever it was that was the main female role.
I don't know. I liked Janelle Monáe a lot in that movie.
Oh, that's who it was, right?
Yeah.
Janelle Monáe.
But I think the rest of the Knives Out one cast is stacked compared to,
As much as I love seeing Batista in little underwear, so
yeah.
Because I've seen him that way his whole life.
Yeah. Anyways, that was just I since you brought up Rian Johnson, I figured to bring it up now. He was my least favorite part of the episode.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew that would surprise you.
Yeah, because you eat everything up. This guy does.
Yeah. And he ruined Star Wars.
That's true. That's actually true. I used to love Star Wars. Now I hate it. So it's absolutely true.
What if he made another Star Wars movie and he brought back Ben Quaternaros?
If he brought back Ben, if he makes another Star Wars movie and it has 4 things in it, Shawn. It has a good healthy jizz scene. Okay. They go into a bar and they're just fucking wailing on some jizz. Okay. It has Ben Quaternaros winning a pod race. It has a couple moments of Babu Freak just like showing up and saying his name. And then it has Lando Calrissian, as played by Childish Gambino, having sex with a droid. Then I'm in.
Dude, I hope so. I gotta say, also, just sorry, on the topic of Babu Freak, there was a line that I think you'd love in the latest episode of The Mandalorian, where one of those things is walking by Baby Yoda, and he looks up at Baby Yoda and goes, "Bad baby, no squeezy."
Okay, maybe I have to watch the new season of The Mandalorian. I've sworn off Star Wars, but you convinced me.
He goes, "Bad baby, no squeezy."
Actually, this is going to be such a late plug, Shawn, because who knows when this season's releasing. But since we're talking about Star Wars, why don't you tell people what you've been up to a little bit?
Hopefully this is still a thing.
It's like 2 episodes.
It doesn't. If you go to look at this and you see that there's only 2 episodes out, know that I'm not in a good place. That's a sign that I have failed. I started the Star Wars podcast, something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's me by myself for the most part, talking about Star Wars, except short segments where I bring on friends to talk about things that they love about Star Wars. It's called What They Grow Beyond, the Star Wars podcast. And yeah, hopefully
we are what they grow beyond.
That is the true burden of all masters. I hopefully this doesn't expose me as a massive failure and completely destroy my mental health.
This season's never coming out for you. Don't worry about it. Anyway,
we can finally talk about the episode if you want.
So yeah, everybody go check out Shawn's Star Wars podcast that maybe has 2 episodes.
Yeah. Let's hope.
If you're listening to this somehow in the year 325.
Hey, I'm already like
3025.
I'm.
We went backwards.
I've almost got the second episode all outlined, so we're looking good.
Right.
But,
Yeah. No, I'm giving you credit there,
Yeah,
but I think it tanks after that.
yeah,
Anyway,
probably.
so let's talk about Yes and. We did a lot of really good improv at the beginning of this episode. I don't know if you guys noticed that. A lot of good improv.
Isn't
But
that what is podcasting if not improv everlasting?
Oh, Jesus Christ. So this episode starts. It sets the scene where Todd wants someone's attention and he's not getting it. Similar to how Shawn acts every day of his life. And
That's why I have a podcast.
Right. So Bojack is not giving it to him. Wanda is not giving it to him. There's a funny line here because Diane has kind of made herself at home at Bojack's house to the chagrin of Wanda. And Todd first asks Bojack if he wants to go fly a kite, and Bojack calls kites sky trash. And then he asks Wanda, and Wanda goes, "No, sorry. Some of us have jobs. Not all of us, but some of us have jobs." And I just think Wanda's like very open contempt for the fact that Diane's here throughout the episode is really funny to me.
Yeah,
because she just like says things out loud, and Diane just no sells them every time. Like doesn't doesn't even pay attention.
Poor Wanda.
And yeah, poor Wanda here. She's really starting to understand what Bojack is.
Yeah, that's like the theme of the episode.
So Todd says, "Oh, that's right, I have a job." So he goes back, and J.D. Salinger's like, "You don't have a job here. I fired you." And Todd goes, "I thought you were just giving me the business." And he goes, "No, I was taking away the business." So then he finds Mr. Peanut Butter, and Mr. Peanut Butter's so busy being the host, he can't possibly go fly a kite with him.
Yeah, dude, he has to put on a suit, and he has to go to hair and makeup, and he needs to record the show, and then he needs to take off his suit.
It's crazy. That's so much work.
Yeah, I mean, like you could do that easy, or I mean, that would be too hard for you, right? That'd be too much.
I'm wearing the same clothes I've worn the last 3 days. That's real. That's absolutely 100% real.
Oh no.
So Todd just wanders away, and he finds this sign about joining the cult of Scientology. Not a cult.
Hang on.
He starts to join Scientology, and as he's reading this guy stops him, played by John Cho, and they do such a great job of this episode of making improv seem like the lamest fucking thing you can possibly do.
Oh yeah.
Like all of the like goodwill that Whose Line Is It Anyway is built up for improv over the years is just destroyed by anybody who's seen this episode of television.
Like here's the thing about it, I think, right? I have friends who were really into improv when we were like in high school, and they really wanted to get into improv. And this feels like a decently accurate depiction of like shitty improv.
Right.
Like, the people that do improv that get like really famous for doing it, like that's one thing, but this is like, yeah, this is the rest of you schmucks. This is what you look like. And I thought that was really funny.
When they always throughout this episode, whenever we tune in, we don't actually see the improv they do, but we like get the end where they're like President Lohan. It's like so fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And then we see Todd himself do some improv, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
As the episode goes on. But he says, "Hey, this is a free course," and he does the ice cream bit where he goes, "Look, you have an ice cream."
Yeah.
And Todd's like, "Whoa!" And but he doesn't allow him to take the fake ice cream in, and that's where the episode that's where the intro comes in on the episode. And I got to be honest with you, Shawn, about this episode. We were supposed to record this like a week ago, right? Yeah. And then something happened, we couldn't.
Yeah.
Not important, but I watched this episode while I was making breakfast today because I was like, I didn't take notes.
Yeah.
I just wanted a refresher. I have no fucking clue what happens next.
So next, next, I could tell. That's why I'm here, dude. That's why you don't do this podcast by yourself.
That's why I don't
the
do
only
it
reason.
sad and alone like a Star Wars podcast. I mean, what? Oh. Sean left the call. You couldn't hear it. That's such a dumb joke.
You can
we're
edit
not
it
recording
in.
the Discord
You can edit it in.
audio.
You can edit it in, you know?
Oh,
you can edit in the doo-doo into the...
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I haven't edited one of these fucking episodes yet, and you're going to tell me, when you edit this in 3 months, you can put the Discord sound in.
You can put the Discord sound in. We go to Bojack
This
at work.
episode is off the rails, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Much like this episode of Bojack. We go to Bojack at improv.
Wait, Bojack's at improv?
Not improv at work. Bojack filming.
That's not improv. That's just him doing his job. That's just
I don't know.
him
At this
shooting
point,
secretariat.
at this point, it might be improv with how they're changing things.
Okay, I remember now. So he's shooting a scene where he's with a bunch of youths teaching them math, kind of like Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
With Edward James
With
almost.
fucking any movie that came out in the early 2000s.
Right. And he shoots the scene, and we have a new director, and his name's Abe. And Abe is played by Gary Marshall.
Okay, the voice is like so distinct. I was like, who is that?
So Gary Marshall is one of those guys as an actor.
Okay.
Like he just kind of pops up, right? But as a writer and creator, this guy is responsible for a lot.
Okay.
Let me read some of it to you. He is known for as an actor, he's got a part in A League of Their Own, Never Been Kissed, Pretty Woman, right?
Okay.
Nothing too crazy though. But as a producer, he is literally the creator of Happy Days.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Happy Days and Joni Loves Chachi and all the spinoffs from that. He's the executive producer of Mork and Mindy.
Okay.
Laverne and Shirley. So he's known.
He's done a few things.
He's done a few things. He's known as a producer and writer.
Mm-hmm.
But he does act from here. And here he is Abe, who is the new director, and he is like a what kind of a catfish?
I guess I love the voice that he does.
Yeah, it's
for
like
the character.
this kind of voice like this.
But like it's like that combined with like Scorsese or something, like very kind of New York director type voice.
Right, but this guy is supposed to be presented to us as a hack.
Yeah,
he's got a gone fishing hat on. He's slurping on a drink.
Yeah.
And after the scene, Bojack's like, shouldn't we get another one? The kid sneezed during the take. And he's just kind of like, no, don't worry about it, Bojack. This is, basically he just presents to Bojack like, this is a farce. We're just doing this for our paycheck, right?
He says, he's got some great lines that I love where Bojack is like, hey, yeah, this didn't happen. And he's like, I don't know what secretary you did or didn't do. I wasn't there.
Right.
Like, you're making the movie. And also, this lady comes over and she's like, hey, the boom mic was in the shot. And he's like, we'll get it in post. and
what am I, Kubrick?
Yeah, what am I, Kubrick? And he asks Bojack, he's like, I've got a Coco Vaughn in the slow cooker or whatever. You like Coco Vaughn? And Bojack is like, yeah, isn't that where a woman like pours soup into her? Yeah. But he doesn't get to finish. So, Mike, I have to ask you, where do you think that soup was going?
I think you know exactly where that soup was going.
I don't.
In her vagina.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And then
one quick note though about the woman who tells him the boom mic is in the shot.
Okay.
This is actually Deborah, who's the woman who tripped over the cord that Diane was not watching early in the season.
Oh, yes.
And she has her new face that's a stitch to her old body.
I noticed the new face in a different shot, but I didn't notice it in this one.
Yeah, they show her a couple times, but it's supposed to be that character whose face got burnt off with a new face.
And very importantly, very, very importantly, the director says, so, we ain't making Casablanca.
He says, cheer up, Bojack. We're not making Casablanca. So we ain't making Casablanca.
So we ain't making Casablanca.
And Bojack's like, okay, yeah, I guess I could just take the paycheck, not a big deal.
It's only my life's dream,
Right. He goes to the trailer and Princess Carolyn's there, and she's incognito, and she smacks everything out of his hand, smacks him. Shut up, shut up, shut up.
It's
Because
so
she is
sad.
starting her new company with Rutabaga.
Yes.
Rabidowitz, and for some reason she thinks it would be sketchy if she's in her own client's trailer.
You know, it would
doesn't
be.
make a lot of sense. But she says, Bojack, you're my favorite client. Will you come with me to this new thing? And he goes, yeah, no problem. But like my career's going to be a joke after this. This movie's become a joke. And she's like, well, let's get you a new job. And this new playwright in New York, Jill Pill, wants Bojack for a play.
Okay. Here's my theory. All right.
Okay.
The old director ran away after getting fired, and Jill Pill is her, and that's why she wants Bojack. I feel like Jill Pill has to be somebody.
You think that Kelsey Jennings is who you're
Kelsey
talking about?
Jennings, yeah.
You think that she built up her reputation as a playwright like that fast?
Maybe. Who knows?
Or as a director of plays?
I guess that's probably pretty quick. But I don't know. I feel like there's something that's going to be relevant. Jill Pill's going to be relevant. The fact that she's asking specifically for Bojack is weird.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So that's going to be relevant. I also want resolution on what happened to Kelsey, but I don't know if we're going to get that.
You know, I watched Willy Wonka last night.
Yeah.
And he grabs Charlie and goes, Charlie, don't forget what happened to the guy who suddenly got everything he ever wanted. And Charlie's like, what's that? And he goes, he lived happily ever after. That's all I'll say to you, Shawn.
So, anyways, at the end, or in this scene as well, Bojack says, theater? That's what real actors do.
And she goes, are you ready to move to New York for 6 months? And he goes, yes, New York is the perfect place to live for 6 months and not a second longer, as long as you're insanely wealthy. And that's true.
Very funny.
Yeah, you can't live in New York longer than that.
Sorry, I also love that she says that they called Jill Pill enfant terrible, and then a week later they had to clarify that was a good thing.
Yeah. Yes. So Bojack's gonna go work in New York on a play. I believe now we go back to the improv.
We go back to the improv, and this is where we meet Ryan Johnson.
Yes, Ryan Johnson and the rest of the improv crew. I think they go. I think the word they go is banana, right?
Yeah, it's something stupid.
And Todd's like, "Hey, who wrote all those funny jokes?" And they're like, "Todd, this is improv. This is how this works. We come up with them, and here are the rules of improv. You never say no, you ever." And they're really never say no.
Yeah.
And yes, and the whole yes and thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's if you mess up, it's okay. And he goes, wow, it's really that easy. And Ryan Johnson he's playing Brian is the name.
Yeah.
He goes, no, it's actually incredibly difficult and takes years of training. And they're like, oh, Brian, he's so and so. They tell Todd, hey, it's $200 for the class. And he goes, I thought you said it was free. And he goes, oh, that was just me doing an improv.
You think you could try that in real life?
What?
Get somebody to do something for free and then be like, no, actually.
They would have to be as dumb as Todd.
Yeah. So like you could get like me with it.
I don't think you're as dumb as Todd.
That's might be the nicest thing you've ever said to me on this podcast.
I think you're as lazy.
Oh. Damn.
And smelly.
Oh my God.
But you're very intelligent, Shawn.
But
the sad. They need to make a sad Discord noise for when the homie's leaving the call sad. Okay, so now I need your help, Shawn, because you're very smart. I don't remember where it went from here.
We go to Diane talking to Mr. Peanut Butter on the phone where
that's right.
She has really hit a new low. like
he's like I tell all the people I know about what a great person you are and what good things you're doing. And the cameraman, he said his wife helps impoverished kids, and I told him that's not good enough. And he had to listen to me because I'm his boss.
And he's like, I want to talk to one of the kids. And she's like, oh, they all had their tongues ripped out. And he's like, find one with a tongue. And she does this little fucking orphan voice. And
Hello.
she's trying to figure out like a name. And she looks at like all of these items with like really fancy names, like household items, but the brandings are really fancy. There's like Scormph,
Right.
Ebian, Biatelli, like
anything that would be like feasible for like a little orphan name.
And then she goes, coffee maker. But because Mr. Peanut Butter is such a fucking idiot, he's like, oh, Kofi Makir? Am I saying that right?
Right. Kofi Makir.
Like, but I'm so curious about Mr. Peanut Butter because he's been through this kind of thing before. So,
what do you mean?
like having somebody who's like having a partner that's not entirely truthful to them. Like we've seen in the past, the scene where he was like, oh, and my wife's hands is down that waiter's pants. Like, so I don't know if he's really not getting it or if he's like willfully ignorant. Like he doesn't want to face it.
I think there's a bit of column A, a bit of column B here.
Yeah.
With Mr. Peanut Butter. Like it's easier to he's not the brightest guy, but it's easier in some cases to pretend that he doesn't get it.
I start to feel more and more every episode that Mr. Peanut Butter is a victim.
Oh.
Like of all of these people that he's friends with.
He's just a victim.
He just no, okay, don't say it like that. That sounds so awful. But what I mean is that like these people are fucking so terrible to him. And like he can be an asshole and he has negative qualities, but nothing compared so far to the rest of these people.
What a crazy arc you've had with Mr. Peanut Butter. Where you hated this man.
I did.
You hated him with a passion.
I did.
And now you've come around to, man, everybody's treating Mr. Peanut Butter really poorly.
I feel so bad for him. Like, everything that happens, like, the way these people treat him is just so fucked. Like,
yeah.
I feel bad for him in the same way that I feel bad for Wanda. Where, like, I don't really like either of them that much. I think they both have qualities that annoy me. But they don't fucking deserve this. Yeah. It's just, oh my God.
Yeah, no. So, moving on from the phone call.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I need you to interject.
So we go to this like bar that all the improv people hang out at.
Yeah. By the way, the improv group is called Shenanigans.
Shenanigans, yes.
And we meet Copernicus. Well, we don't meet him, but
we see
and
him.
They explain Copernicus, and I think this is where they let Ryan Johnson cook a little bit, because he goes, "What are you, new?" And Todd's like, "Yes, I am new." He's like playing like these stereotypes of like the guy that doesn't accept the person into the group, right? And I think it's funny. I don't know. Maybe you don't like it just because it's Ryan Johnson. Because
I hate him.
I think it's really funny.
I think it's funny.
You're just a tourist, Todd.
I think he has funny lines. I don't know. It might just be because I've watched like so many of his interviews and like behind the scenes things that I'm like, oh, that's fucking Ryan Johnson, And I think also like we said, like it definitely sounds like he's recording in a different studio.
That's true.
And I think that definitely adds to me being like, oh, Ryan Johnson is saying this right now.
So Ryan Johnson, Brian, calls out Todd for being a tourist and says, go improv that old lady right there. No audience. No net.
No net. Yeah,
no
you got
net.
to, when you go and improv somebody, Yeah.
No net. So Todd walks up to this poor old woman and she goes, I'm waiting on Dolores. It's a name like that.
Have you seen her?
And he goes, yes, and she exploded.
What?
And she's like, oh, what? Dolores exploded? And then they all just kind of like come in and go, you just got proved. And there's like the one guy on the fucking floor pointing at her. And then We run the streets. And they sprint out.
As they're sprinting out, it's Ryan Johnson yells, "The streets are ours!"
Or the streets are ours. You've briefly won me over.
Yeah.
And Copernicus takes notice of this. And,
Yeah. They also, at one point, I don't remember what they refer to him as, but they refer to Copernicus as like the blank of blank. And Todd is like, what? And they say, the Michael Jordan of table tennis.
Yes. He's the, I don't remember the person's name, the something of improv. And they go, well, he goes, well, who's that? And he goes, they're the Michael Jordan of table tennis. Oh.
And also, yeah, go ahead.
No, you go.
I would say also they do this little like music chime whenever they say yes and that I really like.
Oh yeah.
They say like yes, and there's like it's kind of like wind chimes almost.
Yeah.
And
yes and?
Yeah, and it's 2 notes. It's one on yes and one on and I really like it.
So I think we go back to Bojack's house now?
No, we go to Bojack at dinner with the director.
Oh, that's right. It's dinner time with Abe. And they start talking about how, they're almost done shooting the movie and Bojack is going to move to New York and Wanda's going to be traveling and because he's doing theater. And his wife goes, that's my favorite place to have crinkly candies.
These people are the fucking worst.
Yeah. And then Bojack goes, I'm just excited to finally be working on something good.
And I was like, yeah, that'll go fine.
Right. And then they're like, what? And he's like, we're working on you said it yourself, Abe, we're working on a piece of shit. And Wanda knows what's happening.
She tries
like,
so
piece of
hard.
Shit? Right. She tries so hard. And eventually the ladies excuse themselves to go help with dessert. And Abe goes fucking feral.
This is what I imagine would happen if I upset you.
Really? I just crawl across the table at you?
Yeah.
And Bojack comes to realize through speaking with Abe that when he said we're not making Casablanca, he literally meant they're not making Casablanca because that's about a club owner named Rick.
Yeah, and why would we make Casablanca again? They already made it.
Right. And Bojack, my favorite part is Bojack goes, I think there's been a misunderstanding. And he goes, no, there's a Mr. Understanding. And that's me understanding you clearly. And he's crawling across the table. It's so fucking weird.
And he's like, all right, you know what? I think actually we're going to need to do a lot of reshoots and you're not going to be able to get to New York.
Right. So he's basically holding him hostage in this shitty job now.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he kind of like lays on the table and goes, "What? You leaving so soon? We haven't had dessert. Her lemon meringue pie. It's no banana cream." And Bojack's like, "Because it's not actually that pie." And he goes, "Exactly." And it's like, what the fuck, dude. So Bojack got himself in some trouble here.
We go back to the house.
And Wanda's like, "Why did you antagonize him?" And he goes, "I didn't know I was." And she's like, well, what's done is done. And he goes, well, you're happy. Now I don't have to go to New York. And you can tell there's some tension between Bojack and Wanda. And she says, well, there's no point in sulking about it. And Diane just walks by almost like a ghost and is like, or you could sulk about it. Diane makes some great points. No, she doesn't. So they're fighting over this, and now they're also fighting over Diane being there.
They're kind of Diane and Wendy are kind of like the 2 angels
Wanda?
on. Oh, Wendy. Did I say Wendy?
Who the fuck is Wendy?
I don't know, dude. Wanda and Diane are kind of like the angels and devils on Bojack's shoulders in this scene and in this episode.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are. So then Todd bursts in. And he's talking about his improv class, and they decide that it is a cult.
He says that he wants to impress the Elder Council so that he can level up to level 2 and achieve clarity on the main stage with the chosen ones.
And
which that doesn't sound like a cult at all. I don't know.
It doesn't. No, it sounds like a scheme.
That's actually how you run the SpikeGhetti Bros Discord server.
Yeah, it's exactly how I run it.
Yeah.
So Bojack goes, that sounds like a cult, and I know a lot about cults from that brief period when I was a Scientologist, where I happened to read a book about cults. Are you saying Scientology is a cult? No, I'm saying the exact opposite. Scientology is not a cult.
I want to be very clear. This is about improv.
Not Scientology.
This line or this scene is where the episode started to get into the Shawn is writing down every line of dialogue area. Fucking Todd says, improv is not a cult. It's just a dogmatic school of thought taught by a for-profit organization with the promise of social and professional opportunities. And then as they're all fighting about this, Diane comes in and says, why does anything matter, right? Love is an illusion and happiness is fleeting. No such thing as God, and all your favorite musicians beat their wives. Allegedly.
Her delivery on it is like incredible
it's
too.
So good.
Alison Brie's delivery. Allegedly.
And then like everybody is falling apart. And then fucking Todd goes, yes, and I am a Nazi Kardashian. Hey, Hitler.
Well, it's funny because we missed this part, but he did a little improv earlier where the prompt was stop because they want him to stop. And they're just like everybody hates it. Everybody's Todd, stop, Todd, please stop. Like no one wants to see his improv. They all hate improv. But then he does the Nazi Kardashian, which is just such a ridiculous improv moment.
Yeah.
And one thing we did gloss over is that Wanda asked Bojack to talk to Diane.
Yes.
Because she wants her to leave. And
we cut back to the improv place.
Yes. Where Todd is late. And they go, hey, here at Shenanigans, we take attendance really seriously. And he goes, well, wait, Brian's not here. Brian's later than I am. He goes, Brian's not going to be here. Copernicus thought he was a little too negative, and so he went to go work on the giggle ship. And when they say giggle ship, it goes, this stinger, this horrible stinger. And he goes, is that a good thing or a bad thing? He goes, that's up to Brian. Now, no Mike, more talk about the giggle ship.
Mike, I don't know if the listeners know this, but you've worked on a cruise ship, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Not as an improv comedian.
No, but
as
a
dishwasher.
Did you ever work on the giggle?
Improv.
Yeah.
Yeah, washing dishes. You know?
There's a lot of yes and involved.
There's a lot of yes and. They go, hey, these pans are dirty, you know?
Yeah.
And I go, okay, I'll clean them. And then they go, yes, and the kitchen's dirty, so clean that too, you know? There's a lot of yes and there.
Did you ever work on the giggle ship?
No. I worked on the Norwegian Pearl.
Oh, okay.
In Hawaii.
Would you ever work on the giggle ship if they asked you to?
No.
Damn.
No.
What if we did the podcast live from the giggle ship?
I would do a live podcast, but that's not like, I guess that is working on a ship, but that's not like having a job on a ship. That's a one-time thing on a ship, right?
Yeah.
Like if next year's Kingdom Hearts Reconnect is on a cruise ship,
yeah,
you know.
Well, I'm talking specifically the giggle ship.
No, I would not work on the giggle ship.
Okay. We cut back to
Brian's gone.
Oh yeah.
Are you sad by this?
I would like more of him just because, you know, I always want more of Ryan Johnson, but not super sad about it.
It's crazy because I just went to his IMDb page and he's known for Knives Out, Looper, Glass Onion, and then this part on Bojack.
Yeah.
Those are his top 4.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Definitely not a Star Wars related movie.
Yeah. No, yeah. Why would he be, right? You only made the best one.
Okay, so now we go to Princess Carolyn?
No, it's first to Bojack and Diane.
Oh, yes, and he asks her why she doesn't go home, right?
Yes.
And
oh yeah?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, she asks if he has a... Well, she says, like, you know, I think I'm finding out I'm not the person that I thought I was. And then he's like, well, I got to go shoot this movie. And she's like, what scene are you doing? And he's like, well, it's supposed to be the one where Secretariat commits suicide. But instead now it's when he meets a girl called Susie Side.
They go in a swimming hole.
They go in a swimming hole.
His girlfriend Susie slide. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. They're ruining this fucking movie.
Ugh. Well, if you want to skip work, I'm gonna watch Horsing Around. It's the one where Sabrina has an egg. Spoilers: Ethan needs an omelet. You're Ethan.
I am Ethan.
You're Ethan. So,
I had eggs for breakfast.
Dude, me too. I had a breakfast burrito. It was delicious.
Let's go.
So we fast cut to they're sitting there watching Horsing Around, and Sabrina does a funny gag, and Diane goes, "Sabrina's such a little bitch." He goes, "She's an orphan." And Wanda shows back up, and she goes, "Oh, Diane, you're still here, and Bojack, you're here. Did you not go to work?" And he goes, "Yeah, I decided that everything was pointless and meaningless," or whatever he says, something like that. Diane's influenced him to say.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Diane's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Great."
He's doing great.
And we forgot something about the improv thing.
Oh, okay.
Todd asked them if improv was a cult, and they're like,
"Yes."
Well, if you think it's a cult, Todd, you can leave. And he goes, "Well, no, I don't. Just my friend said it was a cult." And he goes, "Well, why don't you invite him to your performance, and he can see, if he's not going to be positive, maybe you don't need him in your life." Or he says, "Take a long, hard look," and a good hard look. And Todd goes, "I hate good, hard things." But he asks Bojack. He shows up. He knocks over Buckingham Palace, which, come on, Todd. Party foul.
It's honestly a sin, but we don't get to there quite yet.
Wait, I thought that was then.
No, because then we go just for a second to Princess Carolyn.
Oh,
because
right.
she is with Rutabaga, and they make out for a bit.
They have matching lipstick.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's it.
My favorite Mr. Peanut Butter thing.
They have matching lipstick, but they're making out, and Rutabaga tells her that the corporation has been registered in her name. So
in her name only, yeah, because the lawyers are watching the divorce like crazy.
Yeah, because they're hawks. Well, they're not. Only one of them is a hawk.
Maybe they're a falcon,
or maybe they're a falcon. Yeah, but that's gonna end terribly for her. I can already see that.
Yeah, you think so?
You
don't think Rutabaga's on the up and up?
Oh yeah, no. I think her bosses are gonna find out that she has a new company in her name, and Rutabaga is very conveniently not gonna be a part of that. So he's fine, and she gets fired.
Interesting.
But Mr. Peanut Butter comes
in.
That's
just a theory.
That's just a theory. A television.
Theory.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, and.
Mr. Peanut Butter comes in, and he's like, "What's going on here?" And Rutabaga is like, "Oh, wow. Look at this urn." And that was the first time I actually looked at the corner of the shot. Like, he actually drew my attention to it. And I was like, oh my God. Because it's Herb's urn. And they ask Mr.
Just keeps showing up.
Yeah. Well, he's an important part of the show.
Yes.
And they ask Mr. Peanut Butter to join their crew. And Mr. Peanut Butter, in what is probably the only time he's ever made a joke that is, like, factually correct, he says, like, "What do we have here? The cat is actually chasing the dog." And I'm like, oh my God, Mr. Peanut Butter, that made sense.
Well, he also does this funny bit where he goes, "Are you kidding me? You're the agent that got me Hollywood stars and celebrities."
Yes.
And then they keep trying to talk as he says the next part of the title of the show, which is really funny. And then he goes, I love you guys. I love your energy, and I love your matching lipstick."
He has a moment of insane intellect when he makes the cat and dog joke, and then it's just gone for the rest of the scene.
Yep. Poor Mr. Peanut Butter.
And then we go back to...
we go back to where Todd spills over Buckingham Palace.
Yeah. Poor Wanda's says, just working in the corner of this whole scene.
Yeah, and they go home, Goober. They're yelling at the TV, and she goes, "You're right. Goober's the one who should go home." But Todd shows up, asks Bojack to come to his improv thing. Bojack's kind of like, Is this when Wanda pulls Bojack aside?
Not yet. First, he goes back to set, and this is where...
Right. Oh, that's right, because Princess Carolyn calls him and says, "Are you wearing? What kind of pants are you wearing, Bojack?" He goes, "Normal ones." and just this big walk to say they're gonna sue the pants off you, and then he says, were your shoes comfy? Because that was a hell of a walk to get to that joke. And she goes, this is serious, Bojack. And he's like, are we doing bits? Because you started the whole bit thing. I thought we were just doing bits. So basically, she convinces him to go back to set.
Yeah.
Where Abe continues to make him say the same line over and over. Let's get it 10 more times.
I'm tired of running in circles.
I'm tired of running in circles. Which
it's more and more depressing every time he says it.
It's more and more depressing, and it's almost like Abe knew he was picking the line that would
hurt,
depress Bojack the most.
Yeah. Abe might be a serial killer.
Abe's pretty wild. He's a pretty wild and crazy guy.
It's possible that Abe is a serial killer.
It is possible. I mean, the way he crawled across that table wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
So yeah, he repeats the line over and over. And now this is where the episode goes, hey, this is less funny.
Hey, this is Bojack Horseman. Don't forget.
Don't forget. This show is not that funny. Ha ha ha. So, I believe he goes back to his house.
Yes.
And Wanda's there. And he's still like drinking with Diane. And she goes, Bojack, can I talk to you? And Diane goes like, ooh. And she goes, alone? Oh. Like does like the most like unhelpful fucking like, you're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
And Wanda wants to get away because she feels like it will be good for their relationship.
She wants to go to Santa Barbara.
She wants to go to Santa Barbara. And they begin to get in an argument where she says, you shouldn't just be sitting around all day. And he goes, well, am I supposed to just be okay with making this movie that I hate? And she goes, yes, people hate their jobs all the time.
That doesn't mean they have to bring it home with them. And
Exactly.
I wrote down a lot of lines here.
No, dude, if you want to take the lead, go ahead.
So pretty much they just get into a argument about like jobs and talking about how she's like a network executive. And he talks about how network executives have like ruined his life. And she's like, network executives have given you like everything in your life. And he says, your job is to pump out garbage every year, hoping some of the garbage stinks less than the rest of the garbage, so you can quietly renew that garbage and keep failing sideways until you retire to a 3.5 bedroom garbage in Beverly Garbage and spend the rest of your life watching your former assistant's garbage. Which is like, I think the writers got a little therapy about their feelings about network execs, but also what a terrible thing to say to your girlfriend.
Right.
And then he says, oh yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, that's when she goes, I don't know where this is coming from. Network executives have given you everything, your show you watch all the time, your house, your car, your da-da-da. And he goes, oh, wow, that must be why I'm so happy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, she's right.
Yeah.
Right. But it's clear that this guy is just an unhappy person.
And then the next two lines that happen are the next three are some of my favorite. One of my favorite exchanges in this whole show so far, where she's like, what happened? And he goes, the same thing that always happens. You didn't know me, and then you fell in love with me, and now you know me. And then she says, when you look at someone through rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags. And
ladies and gentlemen,
what was that the one that you thought?
We got him.
Was that the one you thought it was going to be?
We got him, ladies and gentlemen. So I told Shawn that there's a line in this episode that he's going to go, oh, this is like my favorite line in the episode. And it was this.
Which one specifically was it? Or was it
the
whole...
rose-colored glasses?
Okay.
I mean, the whole thing, but the rose-colored glasses. A lot of, and to be fair, I'm messing with you a little bit, but this is like one of the lines from this show that people reference is the rose-colored glasses deal.
It's so good. I also just like, I think the rose-colored glasses line is so good that it kind of overshadows the other one, but I really love you didn't know me and then you fell in love with me and now you know me.
Right.
Which is just, I think that's such a good line. The whole thing is so good. Yeah, damn it. Dude, I really thought it was going to be one of the lines earlier in the episode. I was like, oh, I got him. When I say it was this line, He doesn't know me that well. I'm picking this one.
We got him.
I thought you were gonna think it was the garbage monologue because I like the really long ones usually.
Yeah.
But
no, I figured it'd be the rose-colored glasses deal.
Damn.
So. That's okay. I've been wrong before. I can be right every once in a while.
I'm getting predictable.
No, that's okay, dude. So after that conversation, Bojack goes out on the deck with Diane and goes, so Wanda's moving out. And Diane's like, because of me? And he goes, no, because of me. And she goes, I'm sorry. And they have a conversation about what would actually make Bojack happy. Well, first he asks her, like, why don't you just go home? And she's, gives a similar thing to where she's not the person she thought she was. And she just wants to go home and have him, and she has some, like, I don't remember the exact lines, but she has some really, like, specific things that Mr. Peanut Butter would say, but they're probably true.
The idea of it is, though, that she realizes that he's too good for her. Because the core of what she's saying is that I could go back right now and he would not question it for a second.
Right.
Like, all the lying, all the things I've done to him, like, he would just let life move on as if nothing happened. And I think that's kind of, I don't know. I get the vibe that a lot of what's holding her back is that guilt.
Yeah, sure.
As well as not just, her realizing that she's not the person that she thought she was, but also that, like, she's in this relationship where she's done this bad thing and she knows that he won't even question it. And that, I feel like that makes her feel even more guilty about it.
Agreed. So then she turns it to be about what would make Bojack happy. And she's like, would that play really made you happy? And he's like, for a little bit. And if you got to make the movie you wanted to make with Secretariat, would that have made you happy? And he's like, I guess. And then she asks him, when was the last time you were actually happy?
Well, yeah. And I just, sorry, it's another line that I really love. But when he says, about the movie, he says, but there has to be more, which is, I think, a really good.
Yep. And he's struggling with, like, the idea that Wanda was kind of presenting to him, like, hey, there are a lot of people that have it way worse than you. Why are you so upset about your life? You know? And he knows that, and I think he feels guilt from that, but it's also not enough for him. Whatever he's missing, it's not there. And so at this point, the episode kicks into the song Parade by Kevin Morby.
Yep.
Which, never heard of the song before this episode, but it's a great song.
Yeah, this show keeps introducing me to such great music.
It does. It really does. We get some different, it's a bit of a montage. It's Todd doing his improv show, and both seats he left for Bojack are empty. So he's sad, even though he appears to be killing it at the improv game. Diane makes a phone call to Mr. Peanut Butter at this point, saying that they can't talk on the phone anymore because it makes her too sad, which she says it's because they're far away, but really it's because she's guilty about everything that's going on. Bojack gets in his car, starts driving, and you think he's going to end up at Wanda's, but there's a knock at the door at Wanda's, presumably parents' house, and it's the pizza guy. So they kind of do a little fake out there. Abe is yelling on set, where is he? He can't do this to me. He can't do this to me. Because Bojack's not showing up to set. And he shows up at my dear friend, or your dear friend, the name of the shop that is run by, why can't I think of her name?
I can't think of her name either.
That is run by Charlotte.
Yes.
Charlotte Moore. She's, like, turning her shop open for the day, and there's Bojack smiling at her. And she's like, oh, she seems, like, surprised and happy to see him.
And he seems genuinely happy.
Yes.
For, like, the first time all season.
Right. He looks happy. And is that how it ends?
That's how it ended, but there was one more scene in that montage where Copernicus told,
he's welcoming Todd over.
He welcomed
yes,
Todd
yes,
over. Yes.
Yes, and Todd's like, ooh, like, I'm impressed. He might have been sad that his friend didn't support him, but he is
He looks
impressed a new authority figure.
exactly because he sees Bojack as kind of almost a paternal figure to be impressed, and it feels like that is the kind of person that cult leaders prey on the most. Somebody
Yes.
who's looking for some sort of parental or some sort of guiding figure that can show interest and approval.
Yeah.
This ending is so good. It
I
feels
agree.
like the end of a season.
Yeah.
But there's
kinda.
still 2 episodes left. It's just
2 very big episodes left.
yes.
Including the next one, Escape from LA,
Yes.
which is an all-time Bojack Horseman episode.
That's what I hear.
9.3 on IMDb.
That's the one that Jason warned me about.
Yes. This one is it's an episode for sure. So we'll look forward to that. Let's do the categories on Yes and here. What was your favorite animal-based gag?
Oh man. Watching me like hawks is pretty funny.
Yeah. There's one that's like an interstitial bit where it's twice. They show like a bird woman with a stroller and it has an egg in it, and then the egg cracks. And then later they show her like chewing up food and spitting it in the bird's mouth in the stroller. I liked that one quite a bit.
It might. Yeah, mine might be or maybe is the like watch me like hawks, or maybe it's a falcon.
Yeah, that's a good bit too. I like when they do that, when they I guess it's racism.
Yeah.
Like it's like animal based racism.
Yeah. But it's animal based, so
right. So it's not as offensive, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Right, guys. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your favorite quote?
I'm gonna cheat. And I'm gonna change this from favorite quote to favorite exchange. The 3 lines of what happened to Bojack. You didn't know me, and then you fell in love with me, and now you know me. And then when you look at someone through rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags. That 3-sentence exchange is because like
that's the best part of the episode for sure.
The quotes work on their own, but I think they hit the best back to back as that exchange between people.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And then best joke.
I'm so glad we're leaving on this so that I can say that my favorite joke was the I am a Nazi Kardashian. Hey, Hitler.
All right, I'm not even gonna answer after that.
No. What's your favorite joke?
I'm not even answering.
What's your favorite joke, Mike?
You picked Kardashian Nazi.
It was so funny. Tell me it wasn't funny.
It was funny.
It was so funny.
It was funny.
I'm
gonna say
so fucking out of nowhere.
My favorite bit is actually the commentary on the episode that Scientology is a cult.
Yeah, that you're right. That's the best bit. I just when you said joke, it took me straight to Nazi Kardashian. But you're right, the whole Scientology and improv.
Well, they're like, this is not Scientology, because the overarching idea is that there's so many people in Scientology and show business that they just don't want to piss any of them off. But,
and they're very litigious.
Right.
That's the right word, right?
Litigious. Yeah, I don't know, but it sounded good.
Unreasonably prone to go to law to settle disputes. Yeah.
Yes. You're right. So yeah, that was Yes and. Like I said, the next episode, Escape from LA, 9.3 out of 10 on IMDb. Bojack runs off to New Mexico to reconnect with an old friend, only to find she's happily married with a family. After staying longer than planned, Bojack makes another life mistake.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm concerned. I might watch that tonight.
You should be. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Shawn, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Shawn_AFK, and hopefully you can listen to my Star Wars podcast, What They Grow Beyond. Probably.
What They Grow Beyond?
By the time this comes out, Ahsoka's probably airing, so I'll be covering that each week on the podcast. What?
By the time this comes out, the Daisy Ridley movie's probably out.
Well, Ahsoka starts in August.
Oh.
So that seems like a good bet, right?
Yeah. If we're not out by August, it's because I killed myself. Anyway.
And it'll run for 2 months. So, like...
If it's not out by August, it's because I'm dead. So,
yeah.
Anyway, you can follow me on Twitter at SpikeGhetti Bros and on Twitch at twitch.tv/super SpikeGhetti Bros. We're a little more super over there on Twitch. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. We've been getting a lot of cool people saying they like season 1 of the podcast, and hopefully they like season 2 as much. Haha.
Oh, God.
It's kind of like a weird gamble doing the whole season before you release it.
Yeah.
It's like, what if people hate this?
Yeah, but it's paid off because we've had crazy schedules.
That's true. We only got 2 more episodes left.
Yes. And we got to talk about crazy schedules once we stop recording.
Right. All right. John, you're supposed to say something.
Oh, yeah. Suck a dick, dumb shits.
What color is the sky?
It's blue. Dabu dee, dabu die.
Yeah, it is. All right, how do we do this podcast?
There's a little bit of yellow in the sky, too.
Piss?
No, like the sun.
Oh. Is that yellow? Is that really yellow?
When I draw it on a piece of paper, it is.
Okay, fair enough.
I knew as soon as I said there's a little bit of yellow in it too, I was like, that's the stupidest thing I could have said.